Hello, dear students. We have been discussing the parts of speech. We had completed noun, pronoun, and adjective in the previous classes. So today we are going to discuss one of the most important topics in English grammar, that is verb, kriya. The word verb was derived from the Latin word verbum, which means word. Verb is the main word in a sentence, except in a few expressions like an exclamatory sentence. A verb tells something about a person or thing. A verb tells us what a person or thing is. For example, he is a lawyer. Who is he? He is a lawyer. Is the verb there. What a person or thing possesses. Possession means property. She has a scooty. What does she have? A scooty. What is her property there? Scooty. Has is the verb. What a person or thing does. For example, this silly dog is barking always. What does the dog do? What is the action being done by the dog? Barking. Is barking is a verb there. What is done to a person or thing? For example, the table was arranged. Here, the table doesn't arrange anything, but somebody has arranged the table. Observe the following sentences. They arranged the chairs. I know him well. The dog is barking. They have slept already. Sentence 1 and sentence 2 take one object each. So these verbs are called transitive verbs. So the verbs which take objects are called transitive verbs. But sentence 3 and sentence 4 don't have objects. The verbs that don't take any object, they are called intransitive verbs. So we can say verbs can be divided into two groups. They are transitive verbs and intransitive verbs, like the verbs which take objects and those which don't take objects. If a transitive verb takes two objects, like direct object and indirect object, that verb is also called ditransitive verb. For example, they gave me a chance. Here, me is indirect object, chance is direct object. So here, how do we distinguish between direct object and indirect object? Just a simple tip. I'll give you a simple tip on this. Not a very professional grammatic one. Just simply you just say, they gave me a chance. You just think, you forget a chance and read the sentence like, they gave me. Does it give you a complete sense? Is it complete in its meaning? No. Just think, they gave a chance. So there it is complete. But when it comes to they gave me, what did they give me? There's a question there. They gave a chance. It gives a complete sense. So, me is indirect and chance is direct. Some verbs such as take, give, receive, test, invite, etc. are used only as transitive verbs. For example, I took it seriously. Took, transitive verb. It, object. We tested their integrity. Tested, transitive verb. Their integrity, object. See, some other verbs such as sleep, go, come, die, etc. never take an object. So they are purely intransitive verbs. For example, she is sleeping. Sleeping is intransitive verb. They came here unexpectedly. Came, intransitive verb. Some other verbs can be used as both transitive and intransitive. For example, run, walk, stop, ring, rain, etc. He is running on the road. Running is intransitive use. He is running a school or a shop. Running is transitive because shop or school shows an object. They are walking on the footpath. Walking is intransitive. He is walking his camel. Walking is transitive because his camel is object. Here walking means, in this example, walking means cause the camel walk. Make the camel walk. A transitive verb can be changed into passive voice because the action of the transitive verb passes over from the subject to object. But an intransitive verb cannot be changed into passive voice because the action doesn't pass over to the object. Some intransitive verbs and their transitive uses in causative forms will be discussed in the next class. Here we'll just discuss some verbs of incomplete prediction. He came, she sang, you are, they became. The first two, 1 and 2, give complete sense, so they are called sentences. But the third and fourth sentences do not give any complete sense because the verbs are incomplete in meaning. We can make them meaningful by adding some words or phrases to them. For example, you are a brilliant student. If you stop it, you are, it is a meaningless phrase. They became soldiers. If you stop it, they became. What did they become? It's not complete. So we added soldiers to make it complete and meaningful. Now the above sentences have become meaningful. The verbs which cannot make complete sense without adding a phrase or word to them, they are called verbs of incomplete prediction. Be, become, seem, appear, and some other verbs in the stative such as grow, smell, taste, look, etc. These are called verbs of incomplete prediction. For example, he looks tired. Looks, verb of incomplete prediction. Tired, complement. He appears elated. Elated means joyful. Her face grew pale. Pale means dull. So grew is the verb here. This fruit tastes good. Tastes is the verb of incomplete prediction. This oil smells fragrant. Smells is the verb of incomplete prediction. Now let's move on to main verb and auxiliary verb. Main verb is a word of the verb that gives a main idea of the verb in a sentence. Main verb is a word which gives a main idea in a sentence. For example, the disciples are following the master. Are is auxiliary verb or helping verb. Following is main verb. How do we differentiate? Let's just suppose the disciples are the master. Is it meaningful? No. The disciples following the master, we get a sense, but to make it complete and grammatically correct, we use the auxiliary verb are. People had been listening to Jesus from 3 days then. Had been is auxiliary verb, listening is main verb. So, in auxiliary verb, we have two kinds. They are modal auxiliaries, that means the defective verbs, and non-modals. Modal auxiliary. The modal auxiliaries indicate the mood of the verb. They are used only as auxiliaries. They have no other forms like other verbs. Will, would, shall, should, may, might, can, could, must and ought to, used to are the modals. Need and dare are also rarely used as modal auxiliaries. Non-modals, let's discuss non-modals now. They are the verbs which are mainly used as auxiliaries, but they can be used as main verbs in some contexts. They take different forms according to the change of tense and change of the number and person of the subject. There are three kinds of non-modals. They are be forms, do forms, and have forms. Be forms include be, been, being, is, am, are, was, and were. Do forms do, does, and did. Have forms have, has, had, and having. So let's go through the use of models. Will is used to show the future tense. In present day English, will is used with all subjects. For example, there will be famine in the future. She will join us after 2 days. And will is also used to show assumption or probability. My marks will be above 70%. And to indicate a request or indication. For example, will you lend me your umbrella? Will you join us for a small party? And to indicate violations, I will help you in this case. That's a promise. I'll arrange the room. Willingness. I will win in the next match. Determination. Now coming to shall. Shall is used with the I and we to indicate a future action. I shall follow your advice. What shall we do? Shall I accompany you? In expressing a promise, command, threat, etc. Shall is used with second person or third person also. For example, you shall not murder. It's a command. You shall eat the fruit of the labor of your hand. It's a promise. You shall be cursed in the field if you disobey God's command. It's a warning. Should and would are used as the past form of shall and will. Daniel's friends said that they wouldn't worship the golden image. I told my friend that I should or would be in the campus before 10 o'clock. Should is used to express obligation or duty. For example, students should study regularly. We should keep our integrity. You should be punctual. Now, to indicate an unfulfilled obligation. Example, we should have prepared well. That means we did not prepare well. Some other uses, they should be waiting for me now. It's a probability. That means they may be. I wish you would become a great singer. It's my strong desire for you. The following table shows the uses of the models. Ought to, moral obligation of desirability or possibility. Will, future, purpose, certainty, intention. Would, offer, preference, past habit, future of the past. Shall, obligation, order, suggestion, promise, threat. Should, obligation, advise, and probability. Can, ability, possibility, permission. Could, request, suggestion, possibility, ability, permission. May, offer, permission, possibility in a lesser quantity, and wish. Might, possibility in a lesser quantity, that which is lesser than may. Must, compulsion, inference, and obligation. Used to, a terminated past habit. In present day English, used to is used as a non-model also, like he didn't used to study well.